Hi there. So you signed up to get access to Slate, and now you're being sent this video. My name is Brent Johnston. I'm here to show you what you can look for in Slate and give you some tips on things that you might want to know about in Slate and ways to progress monitor or look at your students' assignments in Slate. So to start off, if you're ever looking for any of the documents for CBE, you would go to Parents and CBE Kankakee High School, and there's a whole web page full of our grading scale, and it includes our competencies, among other things. There is a student parent tab. But that is not at all what this is about. So you signed up to learn about Slate, and you were sent an email and some login information. So I am signed up as demo parent. So I'm going to click on that. I'm going to type in my password. And when I do that, I come into this area. So you're going to see current task, to-do list, lots of different things, sections. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my profile first. And I can look at my profile or edit my profile. So in here, I can have about me. You can put a picture in if you would like. You can have your email in there already, hopefully. And then you can put a phone number there if anyone would like to contact you by looking in Slate, they'd be able to find that there. You can also change your password. Like if you put in a password and you don't like that password, you can change it right here. What's going to be most useful to you is the Tools options. So I'm going to go to Tools and the Demos Task Dashboard. It says Demo because, once again, I'm called Demo Parent. So we have filters in here. You can filter by anything you would like, including current year, completed tasks, past due, due this week, among other things. I'm going to click on View All for now, make all the filters disappear, and you can see everything that is in here. Now, I say everything that's in here, but you actually can't see it all, and we'll get to that in a minute. Everything is color-coded. So if it is red, it is past due. For this student, which isn't actually a real student, we have an assignment here from last year. That would not normally happen. You would not see things from last year, but for this one we do. It was due September 17th, 2019. And then you'll see the ones that I put in for this demonstration today. So this one right here, which is red, is past due. That means that it should have already been done. Yellow, like this one, means it's in revision, and you can see it's in words right there. That means that this was turned in, and at some point I decided for the student that there just needs to be some changes made to it to get full credit for this assignment. So I took it, I may have rated some of it, and I did, and I handed it back for them to do a revision. Notice that these all have a plus sign on the edge, and we'll get to that. Anything that's green means it is coming up to be due, but it hasn't been due yet. So this isn't a current assignment. This one's due on February 24th. It's called Task 5. And then I have something that's blue, and it says completed next to it because it is completed. So this is something that was assigned, and it's been collected, it's been graded, and it is done and over with. I'm going to click the plus sign next to this first one, and you'll see that there are other things underneath. So for this particular assignment, I see an RT second demo task. RT is our way of letting you know that this is an assignment that had a rating in it. So they got a rating in Slate that goes for a grade. Underneath that is another rateable task. It says RT, rateable task. And it is a realistic example of what you might see when you look at tasks. So if I click on that, this window opens up, and it has the competencies that were rated. For this one, it was Science 4.1, Construct Evidence-Based Explanations, Identify and Use Appropriate Text Structure, which is 4.2, and Follow Writing Conventions, which is 4.3. And this particular task was rated at an 8, a 9, and a 6 for a 4.3, 4.2, and 4.1. So what exactly does that mean? Well, going back to this page, at the bottom, I have a score sheet, and it tells me what the grades look like by portfolio. So for this particular one, you see these are all pink colored. We expect students to learn at their grade appropriate level. So in science in 9th grade, they're all entered in the first high school portfolio, which is pink, and they're expected to perform between a 7 and a 9. The next year, they get into a new portfolio, which has a new color, and that one would be from 8 to 10 is where we expect them to perform on the exact same competencies for science. So you can see in here that there's a pink portfolio, a C is a 7, a B is a 7.5, and an A is an 8.0. But notice there's also this 9.0, and it says honors grading. That means that's an honors A. So no matter what science class you're in, if you score a 9.0 or higher for your average, then you're going to get honors credit for that class, whether you're in an honors section or not. But those are the expectations for pink. So when I go back and look at this one, I see a 6. So that's probably why I sent it back for revision, or the teacher would have sent it back for revision. Maybe this needs some work, and you'll see down here there's a comment. Please reference the data in your explanation for a higher score and more robust explanation. So the student can revise, and then this can be changed for that student. Any rating can be changed. All I have to do is go in as the teacher and click on the spot it goes, and it will change the rating. So that one is marked as complete, though. You can see right there. This is a revision. I'm going to click here. And in this one, you would typically not see this many things in one, but there's an M. And an M means that it was a missed opportunity. That means that for this particular activity, construct a research question, the question was not constructed, or wasn't constructed on at least a 5 or higher level. So that goes down as an M. Why 5? 5 is not junior high or high school level. If students are turning in work below a junior high or high school level, we don't want to grade them on that. We want to show them what they need to do and how to fix it so they can get a higher score. But this is a particular task that is sent back for revision. You can tell by the fact that it's yellow. The one we were looking at before was blue, which means it is completed, although once again, that student could go back and change that 6 and get a higher rating. But this one is sent back to them. I'm asking them for sure to redo this one. It's marked as a revision. And so when they get it done, they'll turn it back in and it'll be graded again. And then this has a down menu also. You see that there's several tasks in here. Notice the different lettering. This one is an ST instead of an RT. ST means supporting task. So this does not have a rating in it. When it's completed to a satisfactory level, it is marked complete, and the student is then moving on to the next task. So these are things that are going to help them do well on this rateable task. And then in this one, you can see that there's another ST, a supporting task, so that they do well on this rateable task. And then under the one that was done, there was also a supporting task that was completed, and the RT there. So this is a great way of seeing what is assigned out, what's done, what needs revision, and what's past due. The other area or dashboard that's going to be very useful to you is the Competency Dashboard. So I'm going to click on this one. If you have more than one student, you will be able to choose both students by clicking the down arrow, but I only have one fake student, so it's just one. And I'm going to choose ELA, but there's lots of competencies, and I'll show those in a minute. So all of the competencies for ELA are going to be stored in this one spot. Mind you, there could be elective teachers rating ELA, or there could be a science project where they do a research paper which gets an ELA rating where the teachers might collaborate on that. The most recent ratings show up on the side here, so you can see all of the more recent ones. On here, once again, this is the pink portfolio. We see a percent completion. This is not a grade. So you see 24% there. This is not that they're getting a 24%. It means that 24 of the things that need to be done for this year are completed. And by the end of the year, this will be 100% in order to pass. Overall, right now, my demo fake student has an 8. An 8 is an A. It's not an honors A, but it is an A. It shows the growth from the first assignment to the last and how many missed skills are in here. So we can see that there. So as I work my way down, every single one of the competencies, whether it's reading critically or expressing ideas, is the same way. So I can see on reading critically, the average is a 7.5. For expressing ideas, it's a 9.3. I see an 8 in this box. I have 3 empty boxes. That means these 3 things have not been offered yet. They're not missed opportunities where they'd have an M, but they have not been offered. This 8 might have more scores there, so I'm going to click on it. And when I do that, you see that there's only one score here. It's an 8. If I click deeper, you see it was done by Brent Johnston on February 11th, 2021. I come over here to this one and click on it. And look, there's 2 scores. There's 1 box, but 2 scores. So what happens is this 9 gets kicked out. The highest score stays. And I can see who gave that score again and when it happened. But there are 2. There's a 10 and a 9. That's a pretty good showing for this competency. This is something that my fake student does very well. And then you'll see that for each one of these areas. ELA 5 here, writing narrative text. There's nothing in here because at this point, this hasn't been offered to the student, but by the end of the year, if it's a required area, it would have been offered. You see an M here. This is what it looks like if a student did not take advantage of an opportunity. It's a missed opportunity. It'll show up as an M, not a blank spot. And then we have a lot of competency areas you can look at. So we have ELA, we have habits of success, and you can see in here all of those and the opportunities that have been supplied or offered. We have health and wellness. That'd be from health class. This particular student looks like if it's a freshman, took it their first semester, and they are checked out. They don't need any more ratings. They have completed. Blue means complete. So the student is done with their health competencies. In the first semester, they did a great job, passed, and have earned credit for it. Then we come to math, which is quite a bit different than the other ones. I'll talk about it in a second, but we have science, social studies, world language, among others. So let's look at the math one. For math, we have standards lists, and they're a little bit different than all the rest of them. So there are very specific algebra standards that we want students to do well on. And so you will see that Algebra 1 standards is a separate area on here. And then we have geometry, which you would do in geometry class, is Math 4. And notice it's a different color. After you finish algebra, you will start working on geometry in the yellow/orange portfolio. And then we also have Algebra 2 standards. And so those Algebra 2 standards, after you're done with Algebra 1 and have finished algebra geometry, you would start working on Algebra 2. So when Algebra 1 is done and passed, you would see all of this turn to blue because blue means done. And then they'd be working in yellow for Math 4, which is geometry. And they would also have these would be yellow as they work on their Math 1 problem solving and Math 2 argumentation and reflection while they work in geometry. If I look at these, once again, you can dig deeper. You can find out who gave the ratings and what those ratings were. Notice here we have a 9 and a 5. The 9 replaced the 5, and the 5 doesn't exist anymore. It doesn't average in. So this average of an 8.3 does not include that 5. That is probably the most important things you need to know from the Competency Dashboard. I would hope this was helpful. If you have further questions, you should contact the Triangle team for the grade level that your student is in, and they will be happy to go through any more information with you. You have a great day.